On this week's episode of the BS Show, we dive into the lack of new ideas with Call of Duty and more. Before we jump in, don't forget to stay connected with us on all socials at the BS Show GG. Love what you're hearing? Show your support by liking this episode, dropping a comment with your thoughts, sharing this episode, and subscribing to keep up with all our future content. Want us to review a game or to answer your questions? Drop your recommendations and questions in our comments. I'm Blake, and with me as always is Steve. Welcome back, everybody. It's been a little time. I know we missed this week. We both had some personal things going on, Steve. What was I gonna say? I've been playing. Obviously, like I say every week, I've been playing tons of League. I was really fucking tilted last night. I was one win away from gold, and I got a level 30. No, I'm sorry, it was like level 60. Dude hadn't played ranked in about 2 years. First timing Teemo, top lane, and dude went on to go like 1-10 and end my game, and I ended up. Now I'm down to silver 1, like 50 LP, but I was trying to get to gold before this episode, and I'm really pissed. Look, I'm back to being 1-1. Dude, no, you have no idea. I was like, dude, I felt it, man. I was on like a 6-game win streak. I was like, I fucking feel this, dude. I'm gonna do it. And then I get that. I get a Teemo top and a fucking Nidalee support. And I don't know. You probably have no idea who Nidalee is. But she's a jungler. She transforms like into a cat.
Yeah,
there's
she's
no
in TFT.
Yeah. So there's no reason that she should be playing a support champion. And I was playing Fiddlesticks. I'm 3-0, right? Starting off the game, dude. I mean, you know, I'm working it. I'm spam ganking my mid because it's a Zed versus Yasuo, and I'm killing it, dude. The enemy team has a Bel'Veth jungler. You know, I'm like 2 levels up. I'm fucking upper tempo. And this Teemo, dude, is just inting so fucking hard. All of a sudden, their support, who's a Janna, starts roaming with their Bel'Veth, invading my jungle, and then all of a sudden I think I ended the game like 5-9 because I just like my jungle got taken over by Bel'Veth and Janna, like, and then the whole time like my Nidalee is like jungle div, you're trash, while you're playing a fucking jungler as a support champion. Like, play a fucking normal champion, dude. Oh my god, I was so pissed. Anyway, besides that, dude, I've been playing Expedition 33, and I'm like 60% of the way done. I got 10 hours in so far, and I cannot wait for you to get to where I'm at, man. This has been probably like the most time I've really put into like a single player game like this, and you know, you were telling me make sure you watch the cutscenes, and I was like, all right, I did, and I don't know if this spoils it, but obviously Gustav dies, dude, and it was like so fucking sad, and I just had friends with him, man. It was really fucking good, but like you don't expect it, because he's there with like Mel.
Which like everyone thinks he's the main character.
Yeah,
too,
and he's not. And I'm trying to remember the characters' names. I feel like I can go on this game like so far, but I'm at the point where I can't remember Luminos. I can't remember the name of the city I'm going to, but I got like the heart or something like that, and I'm taking out the Axons in order to get to the paintress, whatever her name is. I think or his or her name. Anyways, dude, I feel like I'm talking so fast because this game like it hypes me. It's so fucking good, dude. I was up until like 5 o'clock in the morning the other day playing it.
Really?
I spent like I think I did like 40 or 50 tries. Oh man, I can't think of the name of the boss. I just did it. The guy with the gray hair. And I actually thought, like, during the game, you see like flashbacks with that Mel girl or male. I can't remember. I'm terrible with names. You know, she sees, you know, the woman with the mask and the guy with the gray hair. And I thought like that was her dad or something like that. They're like, you don't understand, you know, he's like, you don't understand. Well, you actually fight him. And I was on his fight for like probably a good 40 to 50 tries before I finally get it. And I don't know if have you discovered the manor yet?
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's where you find mail.
Yes, correct. Yeah. So what I thought was really cool, and again, kind of spoilers, but like as you go on each expedition and go into these new zones and defeat the final boss, like in those zones, there's doors that. So like if you went through the manor, all the doors were locked, right? But as you complete the bosses, those doors start unlocking. You like go back into the manor like through the other side of that locked door. It's really, really fucking cool, dude. But I'm gonna keep talking about that. What have you been up to, man? What games have you been playing?
Really just very similar. I've been playing a lot of TFT, been playing a good amount of Expedition 33. I'm definitely not as far as you are.
I got obsessed, dude. I'm not even gonna lie to you.
But it's really good. It's really, really fun. It's really enjoyable. I've been having a blast. It's like I told you, it's I think a lot of people were a bit put back because it's a turn-based game, but it doesn't feel like it's turn-based. Like it doesn't feel turn-based at all. It's a really enjoyable. It's so hard to explain because it's so different than everything else. And like I was telling you, the cutscenes, the story of this,
it's
like
really good.
the voice acting is probably the best voice acting I've ever seen in a game. And I've been playing games for a long time, and I've played a lot of like story driven games, but there is like nothing like this, like that I've ever experienced. Like Gustav, who Charlie Cox is his name, the guy that plays Daredevil.
Yeah,
he does such an incredible job for this character. It's so good. Like the fact into a movie is I think just kind of goes to show you how good the story is, how good everything was put together. The funny thing is it's like the guy that made, like the head guy that made this, he kind of I don't know if you read into this, but he used to work at Ubisoft, and he said he was bored working at Ubisoft, so he left
the guy that
Ubisoft.
made this game?
Yeah, he left Ubisoft because he was bored, and then kind of built this through like Reddit. He found like 30 junior developers. The person that wrote the story, it was just a random whisper on Reddit that he's like, hey, looking for writers for a game. And it was kind of just put together with like scotch tape and duct tape and all that stuff, like just randomly kind of put together like that.
You would never be able to tell that.
Yeah, and like this is what came out. It's funny because it's I saw someone post something on TikTok where it was like Ubisoft had Michelin star chefs washing dishes, and then like dishwashers over there cooking for them. Because it's like, this is like, I feel like Ubisoft would have killed to have something like this.
Dude,
I definitely think it would have sold a lot more than 1 million copies if it wasn't on Game Pass. But I think the fact that it was on Game Pass like exposed this to a lot more people, and more people got
I agree with you, because I was telling you, if you got in Game Pass yet, and you're like, no, and I'm like, dude, you really should, because like I said, Doom was on it, Expedition 33, and if I didn't, I'll be honest with you, if I didn't have Game Pass, I wouldn't even pick. I would have never paid the money to play the game. But now I'll tell you this, like, if I haven't finished it by the time it gets taken off Game Pass, I'd 100% buy it. But I think you hit it on the nail. Like, without Game Pass, though, like, there's so many good games that like we're seeing. Again, Expedition 33 is a perfect fucking example that like if it wasn't on there, I don't know if it would have really gotten the traction.
That 100%.
So have you gotten to the part yet where you meet the big rock? I think his name is Esky, and you ride him around and stuff like that, and he's like a gentle giant.
No, not
How
yet.
How fucking
still,
far are you, dude?
I'm not that far. I mean, I only play it after work. I'm not lucky enough to not have to work and get to spend hours upon hours. Hours upon hours playing games, but no, I just cleared the water zone and just entered the next zone.
Okay.
So it's like I think I'm probably like 5 hours in, something like that.
Is the water one? Does that one end with that guy with like, it looks like a giant, his mouth like he slams it down. It's like a huge plant. Or that might be the next zone you go to. I can't remember. Dude. There's so many.
Yeah. But not to ruin anything. I guess you do kind of like, I looked up a lot of like what happens and a lot of the like explanations to the endings. I don't know. I'm one of those people that I hate to be surprised when something happens.
Shit, dude. I was so pissed when you said that. I'm like, this is fucking From all over again when you said fucking spoilers for the damn show, dude.
But yeah, I know what happens. I know what the whole meaning to it is. So you're kind of like what you were kind of thinking kind of does kind of go.
It is.
Correctly.
Tell me, it's just fucking. It's probably her parents, and I can't remember the goddamn dude's name. It's his. I know it's his dad. Is the guy you fight, the guy with the gray hair, but I can't. His name is something with an R, dude.
Yeah. So basically, I forget his name, Renner, something like that. I guess spoiler alerts here. If you don't want to get spoiled, just skip past this. But basically, he's the dad. The other guy, I forget his name because I haven't seen him yet. The guy with that comes in after Gustav dies.
Yeah,
He's
that's
the
his
son.
dad. Yeah, that's his
No,
dad. He's a part of your group. Yeah, no, he's a part of your group. So the dad is actually who you fight.
Yeah. He's the son. So basically, the paintress is the mom.
The paintress is the mom?
Yeah. The paintress is the mom. And the reason she's in the easel is because she's mourning from pain from losing the son, which is the guy that's in your party. And he's trying to free his mom from the pain and destroy the easel.
Because the paintress, she's the whole reason why him and his dad are immortal, right? So they're trying to defeat her so that way they could finally die. But that's what he was saying anyway. I don't know if that's actually true.
Yeah, he's trying to die. He wants to basically have everything be over because he's already dead.
Yeah.
This is just an imagination of him, basically. The father is trying to stop him from doing that. He wants to continue having the wife around and all that stuff. So the daughter, there's another daughter, Alice. I don't know if you get to meet her or not. I can't remember. But she technically is the reason that that the son dies because she burned everything. She burned the house down. The son dies.
Is that?
and then
you see her? Oh God, I'm sorry, dude. Okay, you're saying this shit, and like there's cutscenes that had the woman with the mask walk out, and she took off her fucking mask, and she came out of a house of fire. Sorry, you're dude. Okay, I don't know why I want to hear this. I'm sorry, but you're explaining this to me, and I'm like, I was seeing the cutscenes, and that makes so much sense.
Yeah.
Okay, go on. Sorry.
And then, so Male is the she was painted by Alice as like a way to, I guess, keep her alive or something like that. I can't remember exactly what it was, but it's something like that.
Why do you do this, dude? Why?
You wanted to know. Okay, that's enough. That's enough.
It's just funny. It's funny you're saying this because you're talking about like, she burned the things down, and like I said, there's a cutscene that after you defeat the guy with our Renoir, whatever his name is, the woman with the mask, she comes out because she's always with him, right? She comes out of I think it's the manor, and it's on fire. So I'm guessing that was their house, and she comes out and she takes her mask off, and her face is like it's like burnt and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And so I wonder if that was his sister. Oh my God, dude. Okay, we're gonna keep talking about this. We're just gonna go right into the questions. So we're changing this up a little bit. I got 3 questions here that we're gonna talk about, and then we're gonna kind of go into the news segments really quick, and then so that's how we're gonna do things. So my first question: what is the most overrated game in your opinion?
So that when I was kind of looking at this, it was very hard to kind of pinpoint like what exactly what do people consider overrated and like what do I consider overrated. I think it's like when you kind of try to look at it that way, it's like, okay, is it a game that was highly rated, highly reviewed, or is it a game that's kind of played more and you just don't think it's very good for like it's worth the amount of people that that's kind of where I kind of was leaning more towards. It's like games that people tend to play to flock more towards and that I don't necessarily think are as good as people think they are.
I think that's where my head's at too with the same thing.
Yeah. So for me, I was leaning more towards, I think a lot of them are some of these like multiplayer games like Call of Duty, Fortnite, League of Legends, games that a lot of people...
No, don't even fucking say League of Legends. You take that off.
Games that a lot of people play that I just don't think are that good.
Now, when you say League of Legends, you're talking TFT and regular Summoner's Rift, or are you talking about just like regular Summoner's Rift?
For me, I'm just talking regular Summoner's Rift.
Dude,
I think
it's not overrated, bro.
But it's also I haven't played it as I haven't really played League, so I can't necessarily speak to League being like that. So for me, the biggest ones are Fortnite and Call of Duty. I just don't think that they really warrant the amount of people that play those games or play their games, because truthfully, I just don't think they're that enjoyable. Like Fortnite's fun every once in a while, but for the most part, it's like it's a game that gets very old very quickly, and I just don't see how people can continue playing the same game over and over and over and over again.
That's probably why you said League, because yes, your champions are different and your interactions are different, but it is the same game over and over and over again. I can agree with that.
Because even TFT, like, don't get me wrong, like TFT, this is one of the really cool things about TFT is the fact that the season changes every couple months, and every couple months you're It's a completely new, like, it's not a new play style, but it's new characters. The characters react differently, so you're building new comps. You're doing things a little bit differently every single time. So it's not like you're replaying the same thing over and over. But if you play consistently, if you play a lot, you're going to eventually encounter doing the same thing over and over and over again. Like when I play TFT, it's a lot of the times I'm playing the same comps based on whatever opener I'm getting. So it's different. Like, but I get it. Like League in a sense is not, I guess, like you said, it's different characters, different summoners. So every single one has a different play style for the most part. I think. I don't know if like they tend to play very similar.
Yeah,
I guess that would be more so. Yeah, so it really just depends. I would say.
Well, I'm gonna agree with like Call of Duty and Fortnite. Excuse me, but one game I wanted to add to that too, I think, is Valorant. I tried it. I could never get into it. I never understood the hype around it. I do think that they have a better ranking system than Counter-Strike, but to me it just felt like a more animated Counter-Strike with, like, I guess you can call it, it's pretty much a hero shooter. And I don't know. I tried it, wasn't my thing, and I can't understand why it has the popularity and the amount of players that it does. Didn't it? I think it was like the most. What was it? It won like some gaming award for like biggest competitive game or something. I think it was last year or something like that. And I don't get it, dude. I am not a Valorant. I mean, even though I'm not really a CS player anymore, but I'd rather play CS2 than than Valorant. Yeah, I don't know, I think the cartoony layouts of the guns. I think I went into it playing it thinking I'm playing like a reskin of Counter-Strike, and I'm like, why are these guns animated? Why, it's just, yeah, I just don't like it. I don't understand the hype around it.
And it kind of is like, at least in my head, it kind of is like a reskin of Counter-Strike, but with added things. I get it. It definitely is more of a hero shooter than it is like a tactical shooter like Counter-Strike. For sure, because you have abilities, you have all these other things that.
I mean, that's probably the only thing that makes it a little better than Counter-Strike is you do have like hero abilities and shit like that. But like I said, I didn't find any enjoyment out of it. Not knocking anybody if that's the game they play. It's just I don't understand the hype around it.
But I mean, even then, it's like when you have your last time I said, but even then, it's like when you have your quote unquote best player of all time, he's basically saying like this game has become too much RNG, and it's like to the point where it's like you can't even outplay people anymore. Like that, I think that should be a big, I guess like warning sign to people that play this game.
Just like TFT RNG. Anyway, so the next question. Which game have you rage quit the hardest?
You're gonna be, I guess, a little bit. I've never rage quit a game.
That's so bullshit, dude. Everybody has rage quit.
I have never rage quit a game in my life, dude. Never.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, you've never been like. I'm sure you've been up. Okay, you've never done like a PoE where you're sitting there and you're on a boss for Elden Ring, or you're on a boss for like 5 hours, like fuck this, and you throw your controller across the room, or
no, I like not to the point where it's like I'm like pissed off and I'm just like upset that it's like I've definitely been on a boss, and like Elden Ring specifically, like Millennia took me I think like 2-3 months to beat, because it was I would come up and just play a couple little bit here and there. And then I'd be like, okay, I'm done. I'm tired. I'm gonna go to bed, or I'm gonna go do something else. But it was never to the point where I was just like pissed and just like upset.
Really, dude?
No.
Oh my god, bro! You're like the complete opposite of Brett. Brett's broken. I don't know how many monitors, how many controllers, how many fucking keyboards and mice. Oh man, well, this one may come as a surprise to you, Steve, but it's not Call of Duty for me. It's definitely League of Legends.
I would have thought it was like WoW or something for you.
No, I mean, I have been suspended. I don't know how many times for calling people trash or bad, which I mean, I'm not. I don't know. I'm a very competitive person, and I know I shouldn't take my frustration out on other people, but when I'm not even gonna go into that. I'm just gonna end it at League has made me. It's probably because of the fucking role I play. I play jungle. I am pretty much a babysitter for the whole team. And one little thing goes wrong, the enemy jungler ganks the top lane while I'm clearing my bot camps. I'm getting spam pinged and flamed, jungle div, jungle div, jungle div, and it's like, the fuck do you want me to do? And then like, I know the rule of thumb is if you're playing jungle, just mute all or, slash deafen, just to silence everything. And, but I sometimes need to see pings and I need to ping others to let them know, but it's like, I guess I watch a lot of videos and I expect people to be on the same, not like wavelength, but in that same mentality that I am. Like, hey, I see Drake rotate or Drake spawning in a minute. Let's back now. Let's shove waves, right? Mid and bot or bot shove waves. Recall, buy items. Let's try to set up vision around the objective and maybe ward deep and pick up, get a pick or two, and then Drake. But when they don't do that, when they're recalling at 10% HP and Drake's been up for 20 seconds, it's like, what are you guys doing? Like, I'm in that mentality of, it's because I watch so many videos on how to do it and what I'm supposed to be doing that I expect people to be on that same frequency with me, and when it doesn't happen, I'm just like, what the fuck? And that's why I'm like, I don't understand how I'm at this rank, and it's probably a big part of it is because I can't play the same champion for more than 6 or 7 games in a row. But I don't know, dude. It just I pisses me the fuck off, man. I'll be honest with you. so this next one is a good one. It's probably gonna be hard for you to answer, but how do you decide which game to play next?
So that was actually, like you said, it's fairly difficult for me to kind of gauge like what I want to play next and what I want to do. I tend to have like a pretty big backlog with games. Like I'll see, like me, I'll see a game and it's like I think it looks good, I'm gonna buy it, especially if it's on sale or something like that. Like I'll buy it and I'll just hold on to it. And then when I do have time to play it, like I'll install it or I'll randomly play it. But usually it's like I tend to kind of lean more towards games that I can play with friends. If it's a game that I can play with friends and I can convince one of my friends to buy it as well, then I'll play it. Otherwise, it's just whatever I feel like playing at the time. Like if I want to play a story game, I'll play a story game. Those are a little bit harder for me to kind of get into because of work, and it's kind of like Expedition 33 is a perfect example. It's one of those games where it's like if you play it and then you don't play it again for like a week or 2 weeks, it's hard to get back into it because you're going to forget what you were doing. You're going to forget what was going on. So
almost say, you haven't gone, I hate to talk about Expedition 33 again, but have you gotten into the part of like radiant blocking or gradient blocking? No. Oh, just wait. So there's more fucking mechanics you're going to learn as you get to the new zone and get into Act 2. So it's like, yeah, you're going to forget everything if you don't continue playing it. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, so like for that specific reason, it's like I really need to make sure it's like if it's a game like that, I need to be able to actually dedicate the time to actually be able to play the game and not feel like I'm lost when I'm coming back to it. So definitely needs to be something where it's like I can dictate the time. And that's kind of why I tend to kind of always go back to games like TFT where it's like I don't really need to be like know everything that's happening with TFT to be able to jump into a game and play it. Even if it's a brand new season and I don't know anything about the season, I can always jump in. I could watch a random YouTube video if I want to. I could load up Mobalytics and I have a general idea of like how I'm going to play the game. That's the big thing for me. It's like, one, is it a game that I'm going to play with friends? 2, is it something that like if I can't play it with friends, how long do I need to commit to be able to enjoy the game and be able to play it the way it's meant to be played?
See, my answer is pretty fucking simple. It's usually just like, well, again, Expedition 33 is a little different. I think I sent you a TikTok on it. It's like, man, I want to get this. This looks good. For the most part, though, like when it comes to new games, you're like, hey, let's play this or check this out. You should get this. I'm like, all right, because and honestly, what's kind of funny is before we started this podcast, if you would have asked me what games I played, I'd tell you, WoW, League of Legends. That's it. And dude, I'm being 100% transparent. Like that was me. I would play the same 2 to 3 games, and there were always your competitive games. And it's like now, you look at my library, dude. Playing Remnant 2, we played Split Fiction. Schedule 1, Expedition 33. I just pre-ordered Elden Ring Night Rain. I bought, Resident Evil 3 and 4, did Cyberpunk, but I would have never done those if you weren't like, hey, let's play this, or, because you'll send me TikToks of look at this game, dude, this game looks like it'd be fun to play. And now it's I've kind of gotten that mentality too of I go through Steam, the Steam store, and I'm like, oh, hey, look at this game is fucking $5 and it was, $45. Maybe it's good, maybe, and it's it may sit in my library and I don't play it, but at least I have it. I could sit here and go through my shit, dude. I got so many things on here, bro. Once Human, New Worlds. Oh, man, I mean, Civ 6, again, Split Fiction, Stardew Valley. I would have never played those. And you want to, check this out. And that's just me being honest. So it's really easy for me to get into new ones. And now that's kind of changed how I do things. And it's I even, with Game Pass, I hate to talk about Game Pass over and over again too, but I just went through there yesterday and I downloaded, Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2. I'm like, wow, this game looks kind of cool. So, I haven't played it yet, but I have it installed. And it was the same thing with Doom. Doom came out on Game Pass. I forgot to say I'm playing that too. Downloaded that. Was it Elden Ring, Oblivion Remastered. So, I'm getting more into this. Okay, this game looks interesting. Let's throw it on here and maybe see what it's about and check it out. So that's
and that's why I think PC gaming is in the best it's ever been, because there's just so much to play, so much to do, and it's I think this year has been is a perfect example, because it's there really is just so many games right now, and it's how do you find the time to play everything that's coming out or everything that you want to play? It's so difficult.
What I think too that PC gaming has the upper hand on consoles is the sheer amount of storage space you could have, because like an Xbox or PlayStation, you could have 2, maybe 3 games downloaded on there before you need to have an external, or you had to buy the 1 terabyte console. So having a PC, I've got two terabyte hard drives. Actually, no, I think they're 10 terabyte. Hard drives where I got 20 games on here that are 100 gigabytes each or whatever, and it's still barely even scratching the surface of how much space I have. But you can't do that on a console. Unless 100%. You got 30 fucking USB ports to throw in an external, which nobody's gonna do. But anyways, let's cut through the BS, man, and get into these segments. Okay, so our first one here, man. League stopped with its arena game mode that we played one time, and you weren't a fan of it. And they introduced a game mode called Brawl. So similar to Smite, it's a single lane with jungled objectives on the side, like your blue and red buff. And the goal is to dwindle your opponent's resources down by getting kills and getting your minions into their portals. So pretty much, I can't remember, what was that game mode in Smite that was like that?
I think it's called Arena.
Arena, okay, yes. Oh, they changed. Okay, yeah, super similar. Oh man, yeah. And then also, while Riot hasn't officially confirmed it, it has been leaked by a pretty reliable source on X by the name of Skin Spotlights that WASD movement will be making its way to League. And if that is true, then this is by far the biggest change in League gameplay. And I can honestly say, I don't think anyone ever thought that WASD movement would have made its way into League, because the game has been out for 15 years now, and it's just now coming in. But I welcome the change, if it allows more accessibility and draws more people into the game. What about you?
Yeah, I think that's gonna make it a little bit less intimidating. For me, that's not even the biggest reason why I tend to not play League, because I don't mind the click to move. I play other games, I play Lost Ark, I play Path of Exile, I play Diablo, all games where you have to. Well, you don't have to. Lost Ark you do, but games like Diablo and Path of Exile, you can always shift it to be able to move other ways. But I think what they if they do something like this, if they change it so where the camera isn't it isn't the way it is, I think it would be a lot more
You need the camera
accessible.
with it,
I would
dude.
feel like
You need as much information as you can.
I mean, but Smite is the same thing, and it's like people don't necessarily have to go around. Like I guess like I'm thinking of like when you watch people play League, like pro players play League. Like half the time they're not even looking at their characters, and I'm like, what the heck is this? It's like, and
the amount of camera changes they do.
If you're looking at it like from like a new player that's trying to get into the game, and you're watching like Faker play the game, you're like, what the heck? Like this is how I'm playing. This is how I'm supposed to play the game. It's like that's so intimidating, and it's just think about like a new player's perspective. Dude. Yeah, but like again, like everyone goes into a game because they want to not just enjoy the game. Like obviously, yes, they want to enjoy the game, but they also want to be good at it, at least good enough to be able to compete and play at a competent level. So it's like when you go into a game and like the expectation to be a pro player or whatever, or to be good enough to be a challenger, master player, whatever, however league ranking works, is that you have to be able to move your camera around like that. Like that's super intimidating.
I will say that there have been not necessarily pro players, but challengers, which is the highest rank in League, of people that used fixed camera. It's definitely doable.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So, all right. So that's what I meant. So, AMD, this one is actually huge. This just came out on TikTok yesterday. AMD said that they're coming out with a Radeon RX 9060 XT, which will be the fastest graphics card available for under $350. This is huge for gamers who are not only on a budget, but like trying to get into PC gaming without spending $5,000-$6,000 on a damn system. I think that this is great. It's going to allow so many more people to get into the PC space, and I wholeheartedly welcome it. What do you think about a $350 graphics card that's going to be performing as good as they say it's going to be?
Yeah, I think like you said, that's huge. That's really that's great news because again, PC gaming in general is very expensive. PC gaming I think is on a whole nother level to console gaming because PC gaming opens you up to another world within the gaming landscape where it's like you can always upgrade. You don't necessarily like once you buy a PS5, you're not necessarily really looking to upgrade it constantly. Like the only thing you can really upgrade, like you said, is your storage space. Outside of that, it's like everything else is stagnant. There's no movement upwards, no movement downwards whatsoever. But with a PC, it can realistically always get better unless you have literally top of the line as soon as you get your PC. So it opens you up to where it's like, okay, I can upgrade my graphics card. I can upgrade my power source. I can upgrade this. I can upgrade this. I can change this around. I can change this around. So having something that one is going to be able to suffice for years and years and years. You're going to be able to play the things that you want to play without having to really break the bank. That's great news. And anything that can make gaming less expensive is good.
Are you an AMD or an NVIDIA guy?
NVIDIA.
Yeah, okay. Me too. I think this is AMD trying to get into and make more headlines.
I mean, they've always had things that were competitive and always stuff that was good. It's just I think for me, it's every PC I've ever had was had an NVIDIA GPU, so it's hard for me to ever go to anything that isn't NVIDIA. And like truthfully, it's like I think and AMD could be as simple as like I don't know how the graphics cards work with AMD, but it always confused me because like NVIDIA, it's easy. It's like a higher number means it's a better graphics card. So that's what I think. That's why I gravitated towards NVIDIA when I first got it. Higher number, better. AMD, I just could never figure it out. So I was like, I'm gonna steer away from this for a little bit.
So depending on how good this graphics card is, do you think this is going to kind of set the tone for these other graphic card companies? Like, hey, you don't need to be putting out, or you guys should look into making a cheaper graphics card that's a lot better performance than what it is. Because I do think we talked about it before. I think it was NVIDIA that was going to be putting out like a $500 graphics card that was supposed to be as good as like the 4080. But 350 is really, really. I mean, that's the price of a console. So that's like really good price.
It's hard to say because I think for the most part, like your GPU is should be your most expensive part. but whether or not other GPU companies, like Nvidia is much bigger than a GPU company now. Like they're not just doing GPUs like they were back in the day. Like now they're kind of involved with everything. So I don't necessarily think they're really looking at trying to set the GPU market ablaze. I think this is a big move for AMD to kind of set themselves as like we are the second, or if not the number one, should be the number one choice for most gamers. And they kind of already were in that landscape, and I think it's just kind of closing the gap a little bit more.
That makes sense. So here, before we get into our next topic, don't forget to stay connected with us on all socials at the BS Show GG. And if you're enjoying this episode so far, please be sure to share the podcast and leave a comment. So Warner Bros. Have announced a 48% revenue drop in quarter one of the 2025 year so far. So this really should not come as a surprise to anybody, considering that no new games have been released at all this quarter by Warner Bros. And Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League hasn't performed as well as Warner Bros. Had hoped. The best thing, in my opinion, to come out from Warner Bros. So far this year has been the release of the Minecraft movie. And I think I've told you, Steve, it's fucking awesome. I don't think you've seen it yet, have you?
No, not yet. It's available to rent. So I might rent it tonight and watch it tonight.
I think it's $30, $20. But
yeah,
I've seen it twice already, so I've seen it for both of us.
Oh wow.
it's Callie. I will say that this is, so we took her to go see a movie in the theater. I can't remember what it was. Oh man, it's a little kid who was like a mermaid, and when he comes out of the water. I can't think of what it is. He's like a fish. Anyway, we took her to go see that. And she almost fell asleep watching it. We took her to this, bro, and she couldn't keep her eyes off it. Her school, dude, the movie did so well that her school, they're the Arabians, right? They have a shirt that she bought that says, the Arabian jockeys, with a picture of like an Arabian on a freaking chicken. So like the movie is fucking fantastic, bro. Yeah, I know. So, okay, nice way here. So, the Nintendo Switch 2 is going to be introducing a third-party, for third-party games, a game key card system. So, despite the controversy, Nintendo will be introducing some third-party games being released just on a game key card for the Switch 2, which basically it's going to require you to download the game instead of just using a cartridge. There is a lot of backlash around this, as it takes away the nostalgia of the Switch, just being able to grab a cartridge, play it, put it in and play. But, I can understand why they're doing this. I will say, though, I do miss the days of just being able to put a game in and play right away instead of having to wait, an hour or two for games to download. And, you're constantly having to download updates, I think. When we used to play Halo and Gears of War and stuff like that, it literally was you just put the game in the system, bam, you played it, that was it. What do you think about this? You think it's like, yeah, you could understand where they're coming from with this?
I don't know. I very similar to you. I definitely wish that you could just pop a game in and play it. I'm not a big fan of the fact that it's like you're buying a physical copy and the physical copy is basically just an install disc. You're installing a disc, or you're installing the game. You have to go online to download all the different things for the game just to play it, and then you have to be online to play it. And then it's like, why are you downloading this humongous thing to your system, whatever, like a gig, 2 gigs, whatever, and then you can't even play it without having the cartridge in there. Like I think if they do this, and it's like you should be able to play it without inserting the cartridge. That's just my thing. It's like I know PlayStation does this. All the games do this now. It's like you have to install the game before you can even play it. But then it's like if you're installing the game to your console, you should be able to play it without inserting the disc. But then you have to insert the disc.
Yeah, it's a fucking shitty system that they went to.
Yeah, that's the only thing I dislike. It's like I don't mind the fact that you have to be online to download things. It's like whatever. You have to download patches. Like it still kind of sucks that a lot of these games don't have offline gameplay. Kind of forcing you to be online all the time. Like that part of it kind of sucks, but
it seems like every time Call of Duty did an update, you'd have to like re-download the whole fucking game. It's like every update was like another 50 gigs.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. These people are getting a little crazy.
Exactly. So speaking of Call of Duty, Activision filed a lawsuit against a popular Call of Duty hacking software company. I guess they had reached out previously to them and sent a cease and desist, which in turn the company openly mocked Activision. So Activision is like, all right, since you're not going to stop doing this, we're going to file a lawsuit against you guys. I, for one, am ecstatic. I'm glad Warzone and Call of Duty in general has a reputation already for being riddled with cheaters, and honestly, I don't think Activision does enough to combat it and maintain its competitive integrity, but this is a step in the right move. I'm hoping that it's like, with when Blizzard and WoW, or when Blizzard took on Honor Buddy years ago, that as soon as they won the lawsuit, like, there were no more cheats or no more botting, none of that stuff in Call of Duty. Do you think this is do you think this is too little, or not too little, too late? But do you think they're doing enough to combat these cheaters and maintain their competitive integrity? Or
I think this is a step in the right direction. The big thing is they just really need to figure out how to stop third party apps from being supported by that. That's the hard thing. It's you kind of get into the situation where it's like, is it ever going to be enough? And it's very difficult to say.
I wish Call of Duty would do a system like Counter-Strike used to do back in the day called Overwatch, where you had highly reputable players, or where you could review games of players of equal or lower rank than you, right? So basically what happened was you would get sent, like, if I hit report on you, right? You killed me, I hit report player cheating, whatever. I would be sent a clip 30 seconds prior and 30 seconds after you were sent that. And I would watch the whole thing and determine, yes, I think this person's cheating. No, I don't. If enough people said yes, they're cheating, then it got put before a actual developer, and then they made the actual, yes, this person's cheating. They did like an Overwatch ban on the account, or I'm sorry, no. If enough people said yes, he's cheating, your account went into an Overwatch ban status until the developer looked at it, and then you would be put into a ban if they decided like, yes, you were cheating. But no games do that anymore, and I really wish that they would. It's like, yeah, but like, I think like if Call of Duty could do something like that, where like maybe like every one that you get correct, you're rewarded like 2 COD points, or maybe like a cool emblem or something like that to use, then more people would do it. But I don't know. That's just wishful thinking, I think, on my part. So, before we get into our last topic, don't forget to stay connected with us on all socials at the BS Show GG. And if you're enjoying this episode so far, please be sure to share the podcast and leave a comment. So, speaking of Call of Duty, still, an original member of Infinity Ward Call of Duty development team says that Call of Duty is a lot like The Simpsons in that it's run out of ideas. I agree. I think every Call of Duty, people are probably going to hate this, has been trash, in my opinion, since like Black Ops 2, my favorite being COD 4. I think I was like 16 when that game came out. I was heavily in the competitive scene. I went to tons of LANs. I played semi-professional on the MLG PCL ladder. For those who've been gaming, for a long time, know exactly what I'm talking about. And I didn't really get into. A lot of people said MW2 was really good, but when that came out like, I think like 3 days before I left for the Army. So I went in like November 17th. November 17, 2009. Yeah. So then the game came out like November 20th, or maybe it was like the 18th it came out. I can't remember what it was. But I remember I only had like a day or two to play it before I left for basic training. So I didn't really get the chance to enjoy MW2. I will say though, like, for as long as Call of Duty has been out, and how many, I don't want to call them remakes, but reiterations of Call of Duty that they've made, in what ways can you really make it any different, or better, besides new maps, guns, and skins? Because it's like, when it comes to like the guns and stuff like that, like, you can only rename like an M16 so many different fucking ways, and same thing like an M4. You eventually get to a point where you run out of guns. So it's like, what can you really do to make it better? You know what I mean?
I think it's more than just like looking at it from taking the base mode of Call of Duty and saying like, okay, let's just improve this. I think it's really just looking at it from like more of a macro level, and it's like, how can we create a new experience rather than how can we improve the current experience? like I think we saw it with when Fortnite was introduced. Like it completely shifted the landscape of gaming in general. Like yes, battle royales were out there beforehand, but Fortnite really brought it to the masses. Like battle royales were not as big of a thing until Fortnite became what it was. Like, and again, like now everyone is doing a battle royale.
Well,
then you had games like
was the best battle royale. Fortnite. Did you ever play H1Z1?
Yeah.
Fortnite came right after H1Z1.
Well, it was like you had Fortnite, you had H1Z1, you had DayZ, you had PUBG, you had Arma, you had things like that. But it's like, again, like people have been, the entire landscape of shooters changed as soon as Fortnite came out. Because no one was doing battle royales prior to Fortnite's success. Then you had games like Tarkov, and then now you have people doing extraction shooters. Then you had Overwatch do really well. Then you had hero shooters, and you have tactical shooters like Rainbow Six Siege and Counter-Strike doing well. So you had games like Valorant come out. So it's always, I think the developers need to be looking at it more like, okay, let's create a new experience and let's shift the landscape. Let's shift the landscape around. Let's force everyone to conform to what we're doing.
How can you do that in Call of Duty though?
I mean, that's why they get paid a lot. Yeah. That's why they get paid a lot of money to figure that shit out. Like I'm sure they have, and I don't know if they're looking at this at all. I don't know if they're even considering doing something like this. But I think realistically, if they want to win back their player base and do something for the community or whatever it may be, like this is what they need to look at. They need to look at like how can we make something new and something different that's going to be enjoyable rather than like, how can we just keep doing more of the same? And I think that's where the problem is.
Well, I saw they're trying. I think I saw on X somebody talking about that they're talking about bringing back Omni movement and like wall running. And I'm like, please don't fucking do that shit, dude.
Yeah. And again, it's like they're looking at like how they can improve the current landscape of Call of Duty rather than it's like how do we just make something new and something better that people want to play.
I could agree with you, man. 110%. They need to completely change. Yeah, because again, the game's been out for fucking how long? You need to change it up some way. So anyways, anything else you want to talk about for today, or?
No, I'm good.
All right, so Elden Ring Night Reign is coming out on May 30th on all systems. Like I said, I pre-ordered that. Steve, I need you to pre-order it too because I need somebody to play with. I don't want to solo play, and we can just autofill that third person. Some games that you need to check out on Steam that are on sale at the moment. You got Helldivers 2 is 20% off at $31.99. Warhammer 40k is 40% off at $35.99, and Remnant 2, which I'm gonna probably be buying this because it's coming off the Game Pass here in like a couple days, is 60% off at $19.99. And that's it for today's episode of the BS Show. If you enjoyed the unfiltered conversations, make sure to share this podcast and to follow us on all socials at the BS Show GG. Want us to review a game or to answer your questions? Drop your recommendations and questions in our comments below. We appreciate you listening, and we'll be back next week with more straight talk. No BS.